We have with us to shed a little more light and also on the state, concerns around the state of the major opposition party, the People's Democratic Party. To speak on that, we have Mr. Kola Ologbondiyan, who is a spokesperson of the People's Democratic Party. You're welcome to Sunrise Daily this morning.
Thank you very much, Maokwe. Thank you for this opportunity.
Well, there have been, huge concerns around the state, the preparedness of the major opposition party, the People's Democratic Party. There have been questions about the role that it is currently playing in opposition. People have, raised questions as to whether or not it's filling in true form the role that an opposition party is supposed to play in a democracy, or is it still reeling somewhat from the defeat it suffered in 2015 and 2019?
Well, honestly, Maokwe, let me be clear on this, that the People's Democratic Party has moved beyond the supposed defeat it suffered in 2015 and 2019. For the 2015 election, we can understand, but for the 2019 election, with due respect to the Supreme Court, the People's Democratic Party believes that it won the 2019 presidential election. And beyond that, it was able to move from 10 states that was handed over to the current leadership to 17 states before one was stolen, which was Imo State, by stalling the candidate that won the election. I'm talking about Honorable Emeka Ihedioha, and bringing somebody who scored the 4th position to become #1. And as we recall, we protested that vehemently, but the deed had been done. And we're able to move, like I said earlier on, from 10 states to 17 states. So we are building.
So why you protested one? I mean, some people will say that you also got another one through the same courts in Bayelsa State.
Yes,
you didn't protest that one.
No, we got that one. It wasn't as if our candidate had was stalled and somebody who scored the 4th position was brought to become #1. We didn't protest the one. Certainly, we couldn't have protested the one in Bayelsa State because it was clear that issue bordering on certificate forgery came up, and the candidate was disqualified.
The question
but in the situation, we must get it very clear, Maokwe. The situation in Imo was such that a police officer, not INEC, declared results, presented it to the court, and the court upheld it. That is not in the electoral law. It is not in the constitution either. So that was the situation that we had in Imo State. So I just wanted to make it clear that the party has moved beyond 2019. As you can see, our governors have just met in Bauchi, and they meet every 3 months, and they also provide mechanism and assistance to the party.
They're about the loudest. They're about the loudest, even though some people say they're not exactly a constitutionally, but that's the PDP constitution recognized body. They're like an external body to the constitution of the PDP, but they are one of the most vocal bodies within the opposition party. I mean, right now they are taking to task this issue of electronic transmission of election results, and they also say that they don't want direct primaries. The parties should be allowed to determine whatever means it is that they want to use to conduct their primaries. But from the party itself, and I'm sure that you have seen attacks even within the ranks of the PDP, that the opposition is not as vocal as it ought to be in a democracy. Do you agree with those who say that?
Well, I do not agree with those saying that. And I say so, absolutely. Yes, I agree, in as much as the party in itself is a body constituted by various organs. The function and activities of a singular organ does not torpedo what the party is doing, because they are a part of the party. So having laid that foundation, there is no issue that had been raised in the Governors Forum that the party has not participated in the conversation before now. So what the Governors Forum has done is to go back, review all that had happened in the last 3 months, and came out with a position of strength, a position that strengthens the positions the party had held before now. So that's what has happened. The Governors Forum is part of the PDP Governors Forum. It's part of the enlarged PDP. So what they are doing is to strengthen the voice of the party. And I don't think there's anything wrong with that. It does not remove the fact that the party is functioning.
How strong is the voice of the party itself?
If you ask me how strong is the voice of the party, I will ask you, did you follow the confirmation process of Loretta Onoche? And if you follow the confirmation process of Loretta Onoche, you know that the party stood stoutly. You must understand that even whatever we do on daily basis, we have the force of the various organs of the party propelling us on what and what to do. So the party does not operate in isolation of its organs. It doesn't. The party operates in conjunction with its various organs.
Well, I'm sure that you're no stranger to Mr. Kasim Afegbua. He worked very closely with the party and also the presidential candidate of the PDP in 2019. He's had pretty strong criticisms of how the PDP and how it's been run, especially of the National Working Committee of the PDP. And he thinks that somehow there needs to be a change of leadership in the NWC for the party to be able to realize its potential. What are your thoughts along that line?
Unfortunately, Kasim Afegbua is not a member of the People's Democratic Party. I would have suggested to him that he should take his complaints and his desires to the National Convention that will hold either before December or in December.
When did he cease to be a member of the PDP?
Well, he's the one that will provide answers to that, because I'm aware that he was expelled from the party, right from his ward to his local government and his state. But that's not even the question. The question is that inconsequential blackmailer like Kasim Afegbua cannot come to the public arena and begin to try to harass the party. Number one, like I said earlier on, is not a member of our party. But number two, even concerning the issues that he addressed, it is strange to me that people are providing him media space. And I say so because Afegbua, you recall, left the People's Democratic Party ahead of the Edo election because he wanted to be a deputy governor to a particular candidate that he thought would have emerged, and the candidate did not emerge, and the dynamics did not favor him, and Governor Obaseki also came with his deputy, and because of that, he was angry. He left the party. He worked for Reverend Pastor Ise Iyamu in the Edo election, insulted the hell out of our candidate, denigrated the party. Then suddenly, the same end of the UC that he claimed that should be disbanded went into that election and defeated the candidate that he supported. And within a twinkling of an eye, he came to the public arena again and is claiming that, oh, he's now a member of the People's Democratic Party. Maope, look, we must find a way, no matter how politicians try to behave as if nothing matters. For us who are professionals in the media space, we must find a way to streamline the processes for politicians.
Those are not the issues.
Let me make the point.
Yes, please, by all means, go ahead.
Okay. Now, what I mean is that somebody cannot claim to be in PDP in the night, and the following morning, he went to APC, supported the candidate. The candidate lost. In the afternoon, he came back again and said he's a member of PDP. And nobody in the media space has asked the question. I thought you went to work for Reverend Obaseki. I thought you were in APC. And in decent environment, so that you went to work for Pastor Ise Iyamu. In decent environment, will Kasim Afegbua have the audacity? On what moral pedestal should he be standing and be engaging in political discourse?
So, as I was trying to bring, I was saying that, these are not the issues. I have called him, because he is supposed to be a member of your party. He left the APC some time ago, and he came and he worked very, he was one of the spokesperson of the PDP presidential candidate. You're not denying that?
No, I will go into that.
Yes, he was, wasn't he?
I will go into that.
No, there will be no time for that. I just want you to confirm that he was a spokesperson.
Kasim Afegbua.
He was a Mr. Olagbondiyan, it's a yes or no question.
Okay,
was he a recognized person?
He was
a spokesperson.
He was on a paid employment in the party, and I say that clearly. And I say that without any
So
ambiguity.
whether he was paid or not,
yes.
the question is, was he a recognized...
He was a spokesperson.
That's what I need you to confirm.
Yeah, he was a spokesperson.
So now, I mean, so if that is settled, then that is settled. What I need to do is move forward to the other issues. We're bringing out whether or not the PDP has lived up to its role as an opposition party, you know, has been able to play that role within our democracy. I've had cause to have further conversations with not just him, with other members, known members of your party, who acknowledge and admit that it would seem that the PDP has been dithering in its role as an opposition party since it left office in 2015. There are those who believe that, oh, it is because the PDP hasn't had a chance to play that role that somehow they're still trying to find their feet in opposition. They think that, I mean, these are leaders of thought within your own party who acknowledge that you've not been as... I mean, we all saw the APC. We saw the APC. We've seen opposition parties when they were not in power, and the kind of role that they played, putting the PDP in the government in power on its toes. We haven't quite seen that since, you know, the PDP went into opposition. You don't agree with them?
I do not totally agree with you. And I will tell you this.
Totally is the key word there.
And yes, I use that word emphatically. I do not totally.
So what is the part that you don't agree with?
The parts that I don't agree with are very clear. And I said it earlier in the course of this discussion. It is the same party that fought APC in 2017, 2018, ahead of the 2019 election. It is the same party that won elections in Adamawa, that won election in Bauchi, that won election in Imo State.
It is only coming together. So I will let you make your point, but it would seem that all you're bringing out is about elections. It would seem that the role of opposition should go beyond elections, shouldn't it?
I'm establishing the issues.
By all means, go ahead. I just want to establish the fact that
you said that we've been differing. And I'm saying that the same party that fought APC to a standstill in 2019 could not be said to have deterred. If we had 17 states, and out of the 17 states, one was stolen, 3 defected, it doesn't remove the fact that we won elections in those states. It doesn't. And now, proceeding further, Maope, it is clear, and strongly too, that in every conversation that we have had in this country concerning the mass failure of the administration of President Muhammadu Buhari, the People's Democratic Party has a point, and it has made those points very vociferously. We must accept that. But when you are comparing People's Democratic Party to the brigandage that happened ahead of the 2019 election, the People's Democratic Party understands the nuances of our nation. And part of the reason why we are suffering in the realm of the insecurity today was because when the People's Democratic Party administration of President Goodluck Jonathan was determined to fight insecurity, the APC went around the world and said that military hardware should not be sold to the government of President Goodluck Jonathan. They even went as far as going to South Africa when the administration of President Goodluck Jonathan wanted to go through the underground measures to get military hardware. They went in there, stopped the process, and ensured that the money that they took there was seized. Where are we today? Where has that brought us? So if we go ahead again and fight the APC with the same mechanism, who will suffer? It is the ordinary Nigerians who are being kidnapped on a daily basis, who are being mauled on a daily basis, who are being killed on a daily basis that will suffer. So as far as the People's Democratic Party is concerned, we are engaging in constructive opposition, constructive criticism, and at the fullness of time, the People's Democratic Party will come out in its full force.
You say you do not totally agree with me. It does mean that there are parts of what I have said which you agree with. What parts do you agree with?
Well, the one that I totally disagree with was the issue of dithering. That it appears the party is dithering. I don't agree. Yeah, I don't agree, and I've made that point pointedly.
So what parts do you agree with?
The part that I agree with.
Yes, when you say I don't totally agree with you.
Well, you may have some points about the internal challenges in the party. You can have some points there. But to say that we are not providing opposition, we are not speaking what I understand by your dithering is that we are not providing opposition, we are not speaking to issues, we are not making protests. In the Loretta Onoche's case, we were under the rain in the National Assembly. In the Loretta Onoche's case. In the case of the election of Emeka Ihedioha, we went on all the international community. We are doing so even as I speak. We are engaging the world. We are engaging with the civil society on issues. But from what I understand by what you said, is like, oh, we have not brought in the kind of brigandage that APC did. We cannot do that.
I never use such a term.
You don't have to use it.
I do not use such a term, and I think it's very important to put that on record.
Okay.
Mr. Ologbondiyan. Let me quickly flip this to Lagos now, where I know Ayo has questions for you.
Well, thank you, Mokwe. Mr. Ologbondiyan, one of the things that bothers me is the role of opposition. Many times it's always, I mean, you talked about the fact that the PDP does not want to raise issues that will make life difficult for Nigerians, and that's a good thing. But to not hear the opposition at all, that's another thing altogether. Many people even think now that rather than the leading opposition party playing the role of opposition strongly and vehemently, it's the media or the CSO, civil society organizations, that are playing that role. And could that be because, the PDP is having so many issues in pockets of states all over the nation?
Thank you very much, Ayo. There's what is called collaboration. If the party is collaborating with CSOs, collaborating in the media space to bring attention of Nigerians to the challenges of governance brought upon our nation by the incompetency of the All Progressives Congress and President Muhammadu Buhari. I do not see anything that's wrong with that. If you recall, Ayo, ahead of the 2015 election, the process was largely driven by the citizens. It was not as if, because APC was so massive in its membership, that was why they were able to kick out the People's Democratic Party. No, the process was citizen-driven. And as we speak today, Nigerians have come to an understanding and a realization that on all the promises made by all the Progressives Congress and President Muhammadu Buhari, that they have totally failed.
Well, Mr. Ologbondiyan, let me piggyback on something that you just said now. Just 1 second. Just 1 second. Well, just 1 second. Just 1 second, Mr. Ologbondiyan. Now, there was something that you said about, the fact that the particular election was citizen-led, was citizen-driven. It was citizen-driven, perhaps because there was leadership from the opposition at the time, which, as you said, kicked out the PDP. Perhaps that's the kind of leadership that the people are expecting from the opposition party as well. The CSOs are not going to play partisan politics. The media is not constitutionally allowed to play any partisan role in politics. The job of the media is to bring the issues for the people to be able to judge, and that's what we always do here. So in terms of providing that leadership for the people to have an alternative voice to what government is saying at any given point in time, perhaps the weakness of the PDP in doing that is the issue for the people who are wondering, what's the PDP doing as an opposition party?
Like I rightly said, I am not saying that the media could become partisan, but I say that the media should provide the space for the opposition to air their views and to also thrive. That's the position I'm making. I'm not saying that the media could be partisan. No, but there must be a balance between what the ruling government and the ruling party is saying and what space the opposition party also has. But having said that, if you look at it, if you recall what happened in the pre-2015 days, you will discover that any narrative that the APC as it then was brought out, was massively agreeable to the citizens. But today, because of the situation in which Nigerians have been pushed into, people have lost interest in the political space. This is not just a matter of whether the PDP is playing a role or not. Take, for example, the election that held in Ogun and Lagos. Look at the number of voters registered in these respective states and look at the participation of Nigerians. People are becoming despondent. People are no longer interested in what the politicians and what the political class is doing.
The things that one might want to also play out here
of the National Assembly.
Well, you see, one of the things that it's the reason for which you are here, the alternative voice that people want to hear is, okay, this is what government is doing and we don't completely agree, but there is no alternative voice from the opposition, from any opposition at that, except the PDP governors, which according to, you know, some of the people in the top leadership of the PDP, the PDP Governors Forum, as Markwe also pointed out, doesn't have a constitutional role in the PDP's constitution. But the PDP as opposition is supposed to play a leadership role. So in terms of providing that leadership as opposition, that's the challenge. For instance, we're talking about unemployment and all of these things. These are the issues that the APC as opposition always raised and which, you know, people could relate with. But there isn't such a voice from the PDP, and you are the spokesperson of the party.
Well, it will interest, I don't know, but it will interest you to know that there is no issue. There is no issue that was discussed at the meeting of the Governors Forum yesterday that the People's Democratic Party has not engaged in. And that's why I said that what the Governors Forum has done is to buffer the position of the party on all these issues. I do not want to come into a public space and to engage with my professional colleagues on the role that they have played in not encouraging opposition to thrive. I will not do that. I will also not go into the issues within our political party in the public space. But it is clear, and magnificently so, that there is no issue that's contained in the communique of the Governors Forum that the People's Democratic Party, as a political party, has not raised against the sitting government. None. How it appeals to the citizenry is a different ballgame entirely.
So if these are some of the complaints that were, I mean, I'm sure must have come to your ears, what do you think that the PDP should be doing to address it? Because as far as people are concerned, they're wondering whether, I mean, even going by what is happening for off-season elections, whether the PDP's house will be together ahead of the 2023 elections. I mean, whether or not the PDP will be able to provide a viable opposition, because it would seem that so far so good, governors are defecting from the PDP, and they're wondering whether that is a sign of things to come in 2023.
we don't believe in the party that will be a sign of things to come. And like I said, I will always go back to the 2019 election because it's the spectacular example that we have had as opposition party. We've only participated in one election, which is one presidential election, which is the 2019 election. But having said that, we are convinced within the party that we will provide that formidable group that confronted the APC in 2019. And that is why we are in the trenches on the various amendments going on in the National Assembly, so that we can truly push for an electoral process that will be free, fair, clear, and transparent. Until we have that, nobody is sure.
How do you intend to do that? When you see the kind of figures that we have seen, especially in the Senate, at least where there was a clear vote, how do you intend to push that to the harmonized bill which is going to be sent to the president?
I cannot come out and speak to the strategies of the party, but let me just tell you what we will do in the immediate is that we have called a meeting of our parliamentarians and the party to ask for reasons why things went the way they did. We also understood some of the things that happened behind the scene as a political party. How those who were supposed to work with the party from the other parties suddenly pulled out and all that. We know all that, but we also believe that there's a need for a stronger cohesion within our political party in the parliament, and we are working towards that.
Well, we have to thank you for your time this morning. Thank you so much for coming on Sunrise Daily. Mr. Kola Ologbondiyan is a national spokesperson of the People's Democratic Party and has been speaking to us on the current state of the major opposition party, the PDP. Well,
thank you very much.